G'day all, it's Colin from PCTLC and thanks for joining me. Today we're going to have a quick look at the updates to Peppermint. Peppermint's done some updates, they refreshed their ISO. Been looking at it all week, been messing around with the Firefox. That's one of the biggest things I was trying to get going was Firefox. Firefox and ice. So this is pretty much a fresh install. One of the biggest things Peppermint has fixed is in the software and suggested packages is that now when you select Firefox here, you will get the Firefox 91.6 ESR, not the 78. And I believe there was a bit of an issue with, I think what they were saying was something happened with Debian and probably Peppermint at the time of the release. Something happened whereas they got the 78 ESR. I believe it was probably no fault of their own, I don't think. No fault of anybody's, it's just something that happened. Yeah, I'm not sure of the details, but something happened there and they ended up with 78 ESR. In the hardware and software, they've now changed some of these things here. In the desktop environment settings, you've got commonly used XFCE settings, and if you want more settings, if you cannot find a setting option, you need to try the XFCE settings manager. So you can click this and it takes you to the XFCE settings manager. In the hardware software, all of these links now are working, and they've also got Synaptic under the software, which is great. Now if you have a look at the separation here for this, I think they need a separation like that under software so they can separate the hardware configurations as opposed to the software ones. I think that's something I'd have to think that's something they're looking at. They've just quickly fixed up all their links and the Firefox install and things like that. So let's have a quick look at Synaptic now that that's available in the Peppermint Hub. We'll just do a quick search for Firefox and have a look what's there. Firefox ESR 91.6. So there's the big change there. Nice and up to date. Very up to date Firefox extended support release. No problem there. Now there's no, if we have a look at the browsers, I don't have a browser installed, but if we click on FlatHub, we get links to FlatHub setup. I don't know what this is using. Maybe it's using ice in the background or something. I'm not sure, but I definitely don't have a browser installed. But this is coming up anyway. And that takes you to FlatHub, directly to the quick setup or browse apps. So that's really good. So we go to the quick setup and that could run you through setting up. We can full screen that under Debian. You would choose Debian for Peppermint. So that's all working well. App image as well, and there's the app image there. You can search up here. There's a little search field there. You can search through app images. Also the Snap Store, a link to the Snap Store as well, and there's the Snap Store there. And if we go through that, it'll show you under Debian and how to enable Snapd on Debian, which is here, and install the Snap Store. Now the Snap Store is like the GNOME Store, but it's for snaps only. But there is a plugin for the GNOME Store for Snap and Flatpak, and you can get them all in the one-stop shop under the GNOME Store. So the GNOME Store is here. So there's a link to, GNOME Store as well. And app image, I don't think I full screened app image, so we'll have a quick look at the full screen of app image, and there we go. So like I said, I'm not quite sure what that's opening up in, but pretty handy. Pretty handy little links there, and I'm glad to see that they've sorted those links out, and that that could take you directly to where you want to go to sort out what apps you want to install and what type of apps. So we've got quick setup here for FlatHub and Debian there, and then that's the install for Debian. That's the plugin for the GNOME Store. So yeah, you got Pulse Audio down the bottom here. That would be better off up here somewhere under with the hardware stuff. So that just needs to be a little bit sorted out. I'm sure the Peppermint team will be working on that. Now you got some browsers here: Firefox, Conqueror, GNOME Web, Falcon, Tor browser, Midori, Qt browser, LuaKit, and Chromium. Then you've got your Snappack install, Flatpak install, but the problem is these don't install everything that's needed. It just installs the basic support, but there's a couple of other commands that you need to run for that. So you're probably best to run through the Pep Hub and click on the links for those and set it up with the commands under the quick setup for FlatHub and the install for Snap. It's probably best to do that. You get all the install available commands to complete a proper setup. Now, just to complement the browsers here, what I've done is, so in my web page, on my web page here, I was doing this in VirtualBox, but it was glitching and flickering all over the place. So I thought I'd do it on my main system. Well, I was doing it on my main system, but when VirtualBox is running, it's just all over the place. It's terrible. So this is my GitHub here. This is the link. I'll leave the link to this GitHub page down below. And if you want to download the browser script, just click on code and download zip, and it'll download it. And you can use the browser script like I'm going to do in the next part of the video, and you'll see how that works. So that is the web address to take you to GitHub to that page. And this command here is for git clone. So all you have to do is sudo apt install git first, and then you can use this command here. So that really should be up on top. So sudo apt install git, and then you can use this command to download the browser script. It's the same as clicking download zip. This way you don't need a browser to actually do that. You can do it from the command and download it from there. So that way, because Peppermint doesn't come with a browser, you can do it that way. And I know people say you're not supposed to copy and paste from the internet, but they do say it's okay to do that if you trust the person or the website that's supplying those commands. So I'm sure you can trust me. Or can ya? Now the other alternative is you could install Git into, which is what I'm going to do right here in Peppermint. I'm going to sudo apt install Git and put in my password, install Git. Yes, clear the screen. So to download the browser script through Git, we do git clone. So what we do is git clone, and that's the command to download the browser script from Git. So we'll do that. That should end up in my home folder. And let's check that out. Open up Nemo, and there's our browser script there. So that's what I just downloaded. Now, what I've done is, if you have a look inside this script here, let's go full screen. When I've downloaded it, I've also made a link. I'm downloading it into opt, so it's available to all users. So I'm changing directory into opt. So I'm not sure if that's correct or not, but I believe that that's available for all users if it's in /opt. And then I'm making it, the script comes with a desktop app, which it then copies over that app to user share applications Firefox-stable.desktop. So you don't have to make that file yourself. It's already there and it'll be copied over. And then I'm linking the Firefox binary into user bin Firefox. Now the reason why I'm doing that is it then becomes available to ICE. And that's the biggest problem I had, was trying to get that available to be used in ICE. So what we're going to do is run that script and see how we go. I'll put all the links down in the show notes anyway. So if we open this in, actually we've probably got to make it executable first. Allow executable file as program. There we go. And right click, open in terminal, /browser, tab that and enter. So we've got an option of Firefox, Google Chrome, Brave browser, Vivaldi, and that just complements this list here as well. If you wanted to install any of these on Peppermint, But if you want the normal Firefox, that's up to date, of course, and it's not the ESR. It's the most current release stable, which is what eznix made a couple of videos about. I just thought I'd make a script and make it easy for people so they didn't have to mess around with a .desktop application and fill all that stuff in, which is this thing here. So if we open that with mousepad, you've got to fill in all these things here. Well, this is done for you. It'll copy it over. It'll all be done. So once you install Firefox, that's what it's going to do. So if we go to File System and Opt, that's that one there. That's minimize this one and this one. And then we open another file system and we go to user bin. You'll probably see a Firefox come up here somewhere as well when we go through this. It'll be a Firefox link actually. Okay, so it should come up around here somewhere. So that's run the script for installing Firefox. And the other one that is going to happen is in also user share applications, and you'll see a Firefox come up around here somewhere. So let's put that up there. Oops, didn't want to do that. And let's bring that down here. So let's watch all that happen. It'll be Firefox around here somewhere. So let's go. A to install Firefox. Put in our password. And the first thing you should do is see it in opt. And then once it's extracted it, it'll download it here, which it is, and then it will extract it as Browserscript, as Firefox, I think it is. Be a folder called Firefox, I think. There we go. And then it'll make a shortcut here somewhere, or a link, and it'll also put an applications file in here. It's doing all that now. So there's your Firefox stable, and there's your Firefox shortcut. So that's all done in that one script, and everything is, actually cancel that. I'll exit the correct way, like so. And that's Firefox stable installed. Let's check it out real quick. Internet, Firefox stable. Latest Firefox, we'll go help and about Firefox and Firefox 97. And the other ones, when they install, should be available straight away. I had to work out how Firefox was somehow picked up by ICE, because it wasn't getting picked up. And I was trying to work out in the ICE, if we go to ICE, let's see. So if we go to, well actually we just want to read it. So nano user bin ICE. And let's just zoom that in a little bit. So it's looking at Firefox and the user bin Firefox. I needed to have that there for ICE to pick it up. But I don't know if there's a way of making keeping that Firefox and making a Firefox stable or something like that so it picks them both up. I don't know if that's possible. I was looking through all this. It's way over my head. So I'm not really sure, because there's a whole heap of stuff you'd have to look at here. So just be aware that if you do install Firefox ESR through the Pep Hub in here under suggested apps, then that's probably the one that's going to be used with ICE. It'll probably override, I would think, the Firefox stable. So let's do a test real quick. I'm going to go to my NetBank, which I've done before on video. NetBank login. That's my bank login. We'll copy that. We'll close that. We'll open ICE. We'll paste that into the web address box. Name it NetBank. And we'll use the site favicon. And you'll see that Firefox is available there. It's lit up. No problem. Let's apply that. And hopefully this doesn't make a liar out of me. So let's go to Internet NetBank. And there we have Firefox working with ICE. Firefox stable. So that's all good. So if you've been trying to work that out, that's how it's done. It just needs that link to the binary in the user bin folder. User bin Firefox link. That's what it needs. So anyway, I'm pretty happy with the changes Peppermint's made so far, and it's made a huge difference to the setup off the bat for Peppermint. So that's really good changes there, and looking forward to see what other changes are made in the future. It's a rolling release. I haven't put it on my other computer yet. Haven't had a chance to do that. We're doing MX this week, so I'm looking at that as well. I just wanted to throw this video out there, let people know that Peppermint has done a few changes with, especially with all the feedback they got on the release, on the very first release, and they've reacted to those fairly quickly just to sort some problems out, especially Firefox 78, which becomes a security issue if you're running a real old version of Firefox. So Peppermint team's looking good there. Thank you, Peppermint team. Good stuff. So that's it for the Peppermint refreshed video. Hope you enjoyed the video. Hope you found it interesting and informative. And thanks for watching.